Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. Today is Tuesday, and it is 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I tell you, I'm excited about today's show. We've got another international guest coming on the show with us today. He's in the green room checking us out. That is Apostle Allain Laguerre. I tell you, I'm going to zoom through this introduction so we can get him on live with us because I'm so excited about hearing what he has to say today. So, without further ado, let me make a couple of shout outs. I want to give a shout out to all of our healthcare heroes that help keep our loved ones alive. Healthcare heroes have been working very hard to help keep our loved ones when they get sick and bring them back to us. And I appreciate them so much that I'm always shouting them out because I know how hard of a job it is for them to be on the front line and nobody, sees them or notices them or pays them any attention. So I always like to give them an appreciation. Also, like to give a shout out to all of our spiritual leaders that are on the front line. They also have a thankless job. If you've got a spiritual leader, pray for them. Keep them encouraged. Keep them lifted up in prayer. And a special shout out to my mentor, Dr. Lloyd Michael Hunt, because he's been with me for over 30 years. And I promise you, that ain't an easy job, being with me for 30 years. He's been with me for 30 plus years. And I thank him every chance I get for being there with me all of that time. So definitely, if you have a mentor or a leader, keep them lifted up. All right. I want to invite everybody to go over to my website, ask-dr-ron.com. When you get over there, I want you to scroll through and you'll see all of my advertisers. To mention a few, RRJ Webb, Sir Synergy, Port Again Sam, and Prince Hunter Financial Group. Okay? These are just a few of the sponsors that help make it possible for us to do what we do here. Please check them out. Click on any of the banners that you see or flyers that you see. It'll take you over to their website and you'll be able to contact them and find out in detail what they do. I want to make a special point about Prince Hunter Financial Group. He is offering 4 free lessons for anybody that is interested in learning about trading on the stock market or interested in learning on the Forex market. So get your 4 free lessons and find out what it is that all of the big money institutions know that make all those big money out there. You can find out too. And definitely check out Sir Synergy because they are helping people save money on their energy bills. Okay. All right. Well, this person that we have in the green room today, Apostle Allain Laguerre, is a international guest today. And one of the things about being, he's from Haiti, the country of Haiti, and he has an orphanage there. And I have been in communication with this brother for many, many years. He's part of an organization that Dr. Hunt and he have worked together with, supporting the orphanage. And I tell you, the first time I met this brother, I couldn't understand a word he was saying because he has such a deep accent. But I have enjoyed talking with him over time and learning how to understand what he says. So, for the very first time coming on the show, we like to welcome Apostle Allain Laguerre. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Bless you, Dr. Ron. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
I
You are, I tell you, man, you are a very, very distinguished guest, first of all. And I want people to understand, your time is busy. I know you be so busy all the time, working and keeping up what's going on in your country. So, man, I just want to start out by saying thank you so very much.
I thank you as well for having me. Thank you.
Okay. So now, if you want to tell the audience about you a little bit.
Yes, my name is Apostle Allain Laguerre. I do have a wife and two children, two daughters, 25 and 22, and I reside both in Haiti and the United States. But most likely at this time, I spend most of my time in Haiti, engaging in the work of the Lord, doing ministry, and we also have a school in Haiti, which is an elementary school instead of an
Okay,
orphanage.
okay, yeah.
So, so we have a school there in Haiti, and I want to shout out to my chief apostle, my papa, Dr. Lord Michael Hunt. He's been I've been known him for the past 12 years, and he changed my life forever, and the life of Haitian people ever since. If he has been in contact uh, with with Haiti,
Yeah. So now
and we continue.
so when he first came in contact with you, I know he's made several trips over with you to Haiti to help you out with the work that you have been doing there. Now, how long have you been working with the school?
Since 2003.
Okay.
It's yes,
So,
and
2003. Go ahead.
yes, and I've met Dr. Lord Michael Hunt in October 2009 in the conference, and it was amazing the way God led us together. It was a divine appointment, not only for me, but for the Haitian people as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Give me a word of prophecy concerning the earthquake in 2010, where we never, we had history of earthquake in Haiti, but I did not know if it was going to be that close. So in October, he gave me the prophecy about the earthquake. And um, January 12th, excuse me, 2010, the earthquake occurred, and I was on my way to Port-au-Prince. Thank God, God spared me during that time.
Yeah. Um, Now, I just want to say this to those that are watching. Occasionally Apostles' video will freeze up, but we can still hear you. So just keep talking, and it seems to be coming back in and out. So that's probably the internet, connection that you're having at the location where you're at. So I just don't want people to figure out, well, that we are having a little difficulty getting his signal in. But so he gave you a word of prophecy about the earthquake, and it all came to pass. And fortunately, you were able to survive, and the school was able to survive. All of the things that took place back in 2009 and 10.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, let's fast forward a little bit. Now, the school. What ages of the school do you all have? What grades?
Uh, first, first grade to sixth
To
grade.
sixth grade. Okay, now is the
Yes, sir.
educational system in Haiti the same as it is in the United States, where they go, grammar school, middle school, high school, college, things like that?
Yes, we have the same, most likely almost the same, but just 2 years difference because here we go the children go to school at an early age, so they kind of have 2 years ahead of them from Haiti.
Okay.
But we do have the same like elementary school, kindergarten, middle school, high school, college, university. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, and you've been working with them, you say, since 2003. So you founded the school? You're one of the founders of the school?
Uh, I'm one of the founder of the school, but my my dad actually was the breaking ground as far as he was there physically when I was in the United States. But when he passed away, um, I have to continue the work. This is a legacy for him, and also it is the work of the Lord. He has to go. He has to go forth. So therefore, we continue to do the work since then.
Okay. So it's a lot of young people that are in attendance. So now, would you say that the classes, what is the normal class sizes that you have there at the school?
The size about 16 by 14, but it wasn't that way before. Thank God to Dr. Lord Michael Hunt and all his supporters and the Psalm 41 project, because when we first started the school, we started the school under a tent, and from a tent we had 7 classes and one location, which was the church. And then in 2010, when Apostle Dr. Lord Michael Hunt and the Soccer Global Nation team and the Psalm 41 project and all our supporters, they went to Haiti and saw the condition in which the Haitian people, the children, actually, where they have to squeeze in one room to receive education. It was like, uh, they could not digest the situation because we could not even have a divider to divide the 7 classes. So imagine we have 7 teachers in one room and 7 classes in that one particular location. So when Dr. Lord Michael Hurt and his team saw that, they say they have to make a difference, and they determined to make an impact. And since then, now we have 7 classrooms detached from the church and one library. So God is being good to us.
Yeah. Now.
So each room.
So each room has its own each grade has its own room with its own instructional instructor. Now, do they rotate classes like so they have English in one class, math, different studies in each class, or they each teacher teaches everything
Each teaches everything.
to that grade,
Mhm.
to that
Yes, sir.
age group? Okay, all right. So now, once they reach sixth grade, what happens to the students?
Now, once they reach 6th grade, we have a ratio. It's very, very low. Those that continue onto the 7th grade, because the distance from where we are into to the city. First of all, they have a financial setback because they could not afford to continue their education, because our school is free. So we have it's 5% that would be able to continue their education.
Okay.
The others they do not continue, but at least they have the jump start because the illiteracy rate in Haiti is 85%.
The say that again. The illiteracy rate.
Wait, yes, sir.
Wow, 85% illiteracy rate in Haiti. Wow. So, with that high of a literacy rate, do they offer an opportunity to go to other countries to continue their education?
Uh, it's It's 0.1%.
Wow, wow, that's not good numbers. Do they speak multiple less languages there, or is it just primarily just the French?
Our primary language is French and Creole, but if you have the opportunity to further your education, you do learn Spanish and English and in college.
Okay, so they do have um, an opportunity to, if they can afford it, to go to the big city to go to continuing education, if they can afford it.
If they can afford it. But based upon the statistic, uh, we only have 5% out of the village to the big city.
Okay. So, do you all have plans to help some of your students with continuing education?
Uh, the 5%, the out of the 5%, 3% come out of us from Saka Global Nations. We have since 2003, we end up having um, an agronomist coming out from the school. We have tailor out of the school, out of Bellevue Restoration School. We have um, we have a nurse that's coming from out of the school. So we do track them, but as I said before, the rate is very small.
Yeah. Now, do they encourage any of the students that you're talking about to come back and help with the school?
We have not get to that level yet because we have to have a certain infrastructure in that area that can suit them to come back because they have to continue their life as far as preparing the future, as far as getting married and goes forth.
Right. I understand. You know, man, those are kind of low numbers. So, with a literacy rate of 85%, being very high of the people in the country, that's like nationally, right? That 85%.
Yes, nationally,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
So, would you say that that contributes to some of the lawlessness that takes place in Haiti?
First of all, Dr. Wunuko Washidi says, "You plan for today and tomorrow if you don't know what happened yesterday." And it is a good question that you just asked. We have to go back in the history timeline of Haiti of why we get to that situation. We do have, our founding fathers of Haiti, Toussaint Louverture, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, uh, Henry Christophe, and Pétion. Haiti has been independent since 1803. And since one of our founding father was assassinated by a plot in 1806, since that happened, Haiti has been in a situation where Haiti has been living in an isolationist situation. Reason why? Because of the independence, because Haiti wanted to be a free nation. And for Haiti to go forward as far as economically, France charged Haiti 150 million francs. So back in 1825, 150 million franc has to come out of the Haitian treasure. So because of that, Haiti would not be able to help in terms of infrastructure, help its own country in terms of infrastructure, in terms of education, and uh, and that's contributed to the fact that why we are so behind and why we are so poor in Haiti. So we do have more as far as history of exploitation in Haiti. Um, 2000, 1915, we had the United States of America invaded Haiti in 1915. So from that, that was a period of time of exploitation. They exploit the nation of more resources that the nation had left. And from 1915 to 1934, and since then, Haiti has been depleted of all its resources. And so we're always behind. It's a setback for Haiti. And that's why Haiti considered to be the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah. And some people from Haiti, they migrate into other islands like the Bahamas, Jamaica, Cuba. They go other places and they wind up in servitude positions. I've seen this with my own eyes throughout the Caribbean. And it seems like, they always look down on Haitians, but yet they're all black. One of the most discouraging stories that I actually saw, I was looking at a documentary one day, and I saw them explaining how that there was a market that existed on the border of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. And every day when they opened the market up, they allowed the Dominican Republic, Republic to citizens to come in and get set up and establish their tables and booths before they would allow the Haitian vendors to be able to come in and set up and begin, selling their wares for that day. And they literally bragged about how they mistreated the Haitian vendors. And to me, that was so, hurtful, because I realized that, you all share an island, an island surrounded by ocean and water. And yet you look down on other people of color like yourself, and mistreat them like they're less than yourself, and that to me was so hurtful. Now I understand that it still exists to this day, this mistreatment from your closest neighbor, the Dominican Republic.
My good brother, Apostle Dean, once said, he said, what after the death of George Floyd, he says, I'm proud there is a burden that comes with it. And I say the same thing as a Haitian people, and all Haitian people can resonate with what I just said. I'm black to be Haitian, but there is a burden that comes with it. Uh, Haiti was united because Haiti, after the independence, Haiti was divided under Henry, Christophe, and Pétion. So they had a civil war. So the country was divided after the death of Dessalines in 1806. But we did have a president that comes and united the whole island, including Dominican Republic. His name was Boyer, and he occupied the whole island for 22 years. So Dominican Republic, uh, uh, we get the independence from Haiti in 1883 or 1844, if my memory serves me right. 1844, February 27th of 1844, and but we still have the white supremacy ingrained into the Haitian culture, because remember Haiti was colonized by France, and President Trujillo, one of the Dominican Republic president, had a decree to kill all the Haitian people. So they have a massacre in that territory where you saw the Haitian people comes into Dominican Republic so they can have a market day doing. They have that market day twice a week, and so that's still embedded into the Dominican Republic, all of them. But as you said, it's very painful. It's a burden for Haiti, because notice that Haiti cannot produce uh, most of the uh, agriculture product that Haitian people consume. They come from Dominican Republic or or United States of America, which is Miami, and we only produce about 15 to 10% of what we have to consume, because of the fact that we don't have a support. The peasant, the agriculture sector, they don't have a support from the government. If they lost the crop, they lost it on their own. They don't have any any what you call it, if I can get the right word, have a support system from the government, like if they lost the crop.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, so Haiti totally depends on Dominican Republic for food, for everything, education. As far as if they want to further their education, they want to go to university, they have to go to Dominican Republic. Uh, eh, the food, they receive the food from Dominican Republic. It's very little that they sell to Dominican Republic as far as product. So we totally depend upon them, and then to receive that type of treatment from them is still the doctrine of President Trujillo, that we still have some Dominican Republic that treated Haitian that way.
Mm.
Because during the massacre, we had lost about 30,000 Haitian people in one
Mm.
day. And the massacre river and Dominican Republic, the border between Dominican Republic and Haiti,
Yeah.
30,000
Wow.
Haitians in one day.
Wow. Now, you and I spoke. We talk all the time. A lot of people don't know this. We when we get a chance to speak, we philosophize back and forth. You share a lot of good things with me, and I get a new crease in my brain because I get some more knowledge. Now, you and I spoke about the document that they talk about so much, the Willie Lynch theory. Now you informed me and educated me that this was something that was in practice in Haiti and was a successful practice in Haiti before they even brought it to the United States. You want to elaborate on that a little bit more?
So we Willie Lynch, uh, Willie Lynch theory, and we I call it the Willie Lynch syndrome, that the Haitian people still suffered, because the philosophy of Willie Lynch. Notice that Haiti, uh, the Haitian, before we call Haitian people, of course, we were African that came into the island in the 1670, and because of when they consider us the most resilient and the most rebel slave that ever existed, and we refuse to remain in slavery. So we always have wanted with slave. And Willie Lynch came with a philosophy, come with a strategy that how we can divide it us while we were slave, because we used to have slave in the house, slave in the plantation, and we have different skin color slave because of the fact that most of our mother were being whipped by the slave masters. So he used all the skin color, the shade, different shade, and what we occupy as far as if you are a slave in the house or if you are a slave in the plantation. So he come with a strategy to divide us, and so the master doesn't have to worry about imputation. Imputation is the fact that if you are a one-away slave, the first they penalize you. They cut your fingers, and if you run away the second time, they cut your arm, and if you keep running away, they cut your feet. So that was the price it is to pay if they being caught by the master. And so Willie Lynch come with that philosophy. He says that even a 10 years old son or daughters of slave master can govern a Haitian people for 300 years. And then until now, we still have that syndrome within our culture where where it, where still today, until you are educated about who you know who you are, you have a self knowledge as a Haitian, whether you are uh, a dark skin or light skin, you still have that prejudice inside of you against one another. So this is I consider it to be a plague among our culture, because reason why most of the population has not yet received the education, the proper education for them to know what had happened and how they become the way they are, and why the behavior are like that concerning one another.
Yeah, and it's terrible because it is a hindrance, and we suffer that in America as well. Because we got old against young, young against old, brothers against sisters. We've got light skin against dark skin. I mean, it exists even in America. In our music, the young people's music that they talk about. They talk about how they put women down instead of exalting women, and all of those things, and that's the perpetual continuation of the Willie Lynch theory, and it was said by some uh, educators at some point in time that, oh no, that wasn't real. That was just author unknown. Something that they came up with, trying to divert the relevance of that information. Very, very informative information. And shout out to Pastor Ferris Davis Sr. He's on the line. He said, very informative, Dr. Ron. Thank you for tuning in and listening. We appreciate you being on the line with us, tuning in today. Now, understanding that there's a lack of education of who we are and what we are that perpetuates the existence of our own situation and environment. I'm going to ask this question, and I understand who I'm talking to. I'm talking to an apostle, but I also know that in the history of Haiti, they have had um, other than religions that were very prominent there. Like they talk about, voodoo and white magic and black magic that persisted throughout the land. So, would you say that some of those things are still prevalent today?
Um, yes, but not to the extent that it used to be. For example, I was born in a voodoo family, and if you are Haitian in 1791, uh, they had a they had a an impact, or I would say an agreement, a covenant, that's the right word, a covenant with a witchcraft spirit. Now, and on behalf of that covenant, the forefathers, not all of them were included in it, because they project the history as it was all Haitian. But some forefathers did not believe in voodoo. But the Haitian population overall claimed that it was because of that sacrifice, the sacrifice of 1791 uh, by voodoo priest. He made that sacrifice and for them to be free, and he made a covenant with that spirit. But fast forward, uh, the French army killed the voodoo priest. Uh, that was the first revolt that the Haitian people tried to do to get their freedom. And in 1803, after they arrested our, I call it the forerunner of our liberty. His name was Toussaint Louverture. When the French army came and arrested him, of course, he was a general in the French army during that time. So that was his rank. But when they arrested him, he stated a powerful word. He says, "And overthrow me, you have done more on the trunk
Wait a minute.
of the tree
Let
of
me
the
stop
black
you. Say that
liberty."
again.
And
Say
then
that again because you froze up a little bit on that
he
one.
said,
Say that again.
uh, Toussaint Louverture stated, he says, "And overthrowing me, you have done no more than cut down the trunk of the tree of the black liberty in Dominican Republic and Saint Domingue, because during that time we have the same, we Dominican Republic and Haiti was the same island." It says it will spring back from the root. And the Sally continue with that revolt. And uh, we end up having the victory in 1803. So since then, 99% of the population of Haiti um, were voodoo. They practice voodoo. And is a resistance. They resist the oppressions of the white supremacy. They they go into the darkness. They choose the darkness, which is what we describe as black magic.
Right.
They chose black magic instead of white magic. So so every Haitian, most likely that's in my age bracket, 99% of them I had that kind of experience until the King of King and the Lord of Lord Jesus Christ come and snatch you out of the kingdom of darkness and bring you into the kingdom of light.
Yes. Yeah, and like I said, I know who I'm talking to when I ask that question. Now let me ask you this. Um, Voodoo originally had its roots in Africa, did it not?
Yes, that's why they claim in that ceremonial they claim during that time, because remember they were slave, and it's a slave that want to be free.
Right.
So they connected with their root, and that's how they come up with that Creole language, because they wanted to create a language when they speak among one another, the master
Could not
would not
understand. Right.
understand.
So
So that's how they create.
yeah. So now understanding that they were captured, brought to
The
an
island.
island that the
Mhm.
French dominated and put them in slavery, and they had many, many hundreds of years of rebellion. So, would you say that being involved in voodoo was always considered a dark art or something negative or bad, or did it not at one time have its roots in something positive and good?
Uh, from where I came in from, because like I said, I raised in a voodoo family where my dad was a voodoo priest. Uh, I am a former voodoo priest son, and my grandfather was a voodoo priest. Um, and the thin line there is a thin line between when we consider good or bad. You know, it's two kingdom being operated. Let's put aside the kingdom of light, and then now we into to before we juxtapose it to the kingdom of darkness. So voodoo, it's it's not a it's total darkness. Now now you have different rank, you have different rank of practice in that sect. Like for example, if you living in a if you living in a let's take a forest, for example, a jungle, for example, you would see that the the lion is the king of the jungle. But when the lion goes out, the lion has to commit a crime in order to survive. The lion will still going to be survive because it's the mentality. So within the voodoo sect, it's like that. It's like, you know, it different. It depends on your rank.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody will survive, but there's always confrontation and confusion among that sect. That's what make it considered to be black,
Mm-hmm.
because no one. eh, eh, I was in it. I would not be able to explain it as a doctrine or teach it as a doctrine that it would be like, uh, for example, a biblical doctrine, because there are different sects. I may not want to I may not want to intervene or practice certain sect in that, but we still know each other,
Right. I understand.
you know.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
understand. You know, and the reason why I brought that up because I think it's misunderstood. I think it's misrepresented. You know, it doesn't have proper representation. You know, our ancestors when they arrived in Haiti, they dealt with what they had to deal with in order to survive, in order to keep their faith, in order to keep their existence going forward. And of course, it was in opposition to their captors because they didn't understand it. It was never meant for them to understand it. So anything that they don't understand, they always demonize and they always make it.
Now
Go ahead.
now I want to interject it. There is a positive, the positive part of it. It's like the voodoo claim the positive part as they are the one who come with knowledge. Now notice that before we call Haitian, the the we had knowledge, in terms of plants, we had scientific knowledge. So voodoo claim that as they are the one who inspired the people to practice it.
Yes.
So the black magic claim it. Like for example, the first war, the first weapon we used in 1791, we use biochemical weapon. What I call by that is we know certain poison leaves, herbs, how to make poison out of herbs. That's chemistry. So we use that against the French.
Right.
So that was the first weapon that we use as our strategy of weapon. But now the voodoo sector claimed that as a knowledge, because God created all things.
Right.
It's not no spirit can claim that they are the one that created and
Right.
put the embedded knowledge into the plant.
Right. Exactly. So now, and like I said, you know, voodoo got a bad rap, and I honestly believe that because sometimes people don't what they don't understand they demonize, and they have done that for a long time. You know, throughout time, you know what they don't understand they just make it all bad. Now, does bad exist within it? Yes. There are some things that are, you know, bad, just like when we understand the history of European religion and education. Do they have bad things? Yes. we understand that as well. So, good and evil has been a struggle and a battle throughout time. What I want to ask you is, what do you see as a positive road forward with Haiti right now? Because there has been, just in the last couple of years, there have been there have been presidents that have been assassinated. There have been all sorts of atrocities that have been going on the ground. So I know some things you probably can't speak to, but what can you speak to that would, educate the people on today on what do you see as a around the corner, as a good thing, as a positive thing, something that could possibly happen that would allow Haiti to be seen in a good light, in a positive light.
You know, as as dark the situation of Haiti is, we still have hope um, through the gospel of Jesus Christ. Because there has been, like I stated before, uh, now we have 54% of the population now of Haiti are Christian. So that's a progress in terms of evangelization. Now, socially and economically, we are in a very, very, very dark situation, dark moment right now in Haiti. Right after the earthquake of 2010, within the same year, we had a cholera outbreak in Haiti. Within the same year, so we did not even recover from the earthquake, from the seven magnitude earthquake in 2010. The same year we have a cholera outbreak. So, and 2 years after that, we have a hurricane. And within the same year, 2012, we have Hurricane Sandy. And after 4 years, we have Hurricane Matthew. And July the 7th, 2021, our president was assassinated and murdered. But in spite of this, the only hope that I see for the Haitian people, I first of all, the gospel of Jesus Christ, and second of all, the the, the apostolic and the prophetic teaching, because only the truth, only the truth would set the Haitian people free. Because after so many years, Haiti never had a 40 years of stability. We've been existed. We had our freedom since 1803. So it's been 218 years. We never had 40 years of stability, political stability, social stability in the country. So, with that being said, only if the people open their heart to the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ, and receive the apostolic and the prophetic teaching, which is a teaching where Jesus Christ says, if you know the truth will set you free. Because Haitian people living in so deep of a darkness that only the truth can set them free. Because right now the case of our president that was assassinated in July 7th, 2021, still nobody, still there is what you call, there is a cloud over that case, and nobody know if he would have justice. And this is not the first time that took place in our history. Like I stated before, our first founding father was assassinated in 1806, and I don't remember the date, but we have two other presidents that was assassinated before Jovenel Moise. So after a period of slavery, anybody, even God knew that. He knew that after you suffered, after you've been oppressed by an oppressor, your mind, your behavior will never be the same. There is an inheritance that being left behind, which is greed, which is anguish and confusion. to the Haitian people, they need the light of the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's my hope on that.
Yeah. So they need hope. They need to have their faith
Yes, sir.
lifted up. Well, you mentioned something a little while ago, and I want you to share the information about it a little bit more. You mentioned the Psalms 41 project. So let's talk about that, how that is helping and helping people that are actually on the ground. And I'm not knocking anybody else's program like the Red Cross or the, Salvation Army or anything like that. They send money and they send people, but let's talk about the Psalms 41 project and how effective it has been.
Very, very, very effective, and have we have like I stated, like when Psalm 41 project started working in Haiti in 2010, right after the earthquake, uh, the progress of the fact that we have a school that being built, we have a library that being built, we have provided shoes to the children because some of them they come to school barefoot. And one day, Apostle was in Haiti and witnessed that, and it brought tears to his eye. Uh, and on top of that, they walk 5 to 4 miles
Mm,
to go to
wow.
school every morning. To go to school every morning, and and some of them by 9:30 to 10 o'clock, some of them experience they because of hunger they faint in the
Mm.
class, and we fed them Psalm 41 project, and we don't pay. The only payroll we have is the teachers that educate them. Nobody get paid. We don't have administrative cost, and the fact that when it comes to certain organization that they receive X amount of money and then so much money going for administration fee, we directly deliver to the people, and then goes forward. So they have been doing a wonderful work in Haiti.
And if they want to make contributions to the Psalms 41 project, where can they do it at?
Very easy. They can go to Facebook and type the Psalm 41 project, and Facebook. Once they tap into it, they will see a link and click on that link, and we'll be honored and glad to receive the donation and thank them in advance for that.
Yeah. Now, if you want to talk to Apostle Allain Laguerre, his information is on the screen here. Allain Laguerre at gmail.com. You can reach out to him and talk, directly with him. You're in the United States now. How long are you in the United States for?
I'm here for a couple weeks.
Okay. So for the next couple of weeks, and then you'll be back in Haiti.
Yes, sir.
And when you get over in Haiti, they still can email you. You can get your email over there.
Yes, we can get email over there, and we can communicate through email. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. I just want people to, if they have other questions or want to get more details, I mean, we only got an hour. I tell you, boy, it seems like it
But
goes
it's
fast.
exactly because there is certain historical event. I believe your viewers should know, especially those that live in Chicago. It's not a lot of people who understood that, who knows that Chicago was founded by
Yeah,
Haitian.
Jean
Uh,
Baptiste de
John
Sabo.
Jean Baptiste
Yep.
Usabo, and we are a very kind, hospitable people, loving people. Haitian people are very hospitable, and we like to help. Because of our help, what we should know also, the the war against Great Britain in 1978, Haitian people came and helped to fight that fight at Savannah, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
There is another one, the Louisiana
Right.
Purchase from France. That was by the help of the Haitian people. You know, Dr. Lord Michael Hart says that your past shape your present.
Yes.
So, so really, if it had not been for the intervention of Haitian people,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
we would not have it
Yeah.
today.
Haiti has made an imprint
And
all through time, all through history. They have made an impression,
yes,
an imprint, an indelible imprint, and even yet to come. There's more to come. You know, So man, will you come back and see me again? That's what I want to know.
sure, sure,
You know,
I will.
I know this is your first time here on the show, and I want to make sure that I always like to get that invitation in to see if you'll come back and hang out with me again, because we got so much more to talk about. And I don't want to leave nothing out. We got a lot to talk about. There's historical value in understanding, what the Haitian, the nation of Haiti has made contributions all through time, and we need to talk about those things some more. I tell you what I want to do right now, though, because we got to get out of here. I like to try to keep folks, on schedule, because people will have time to go back and look at this video in its entirety. And I know that you have had technical issues, all through the show, but your voice has been able to come through. So right now, I want to ask you this question: what would you like to leave with the people before you get out of here today?
One thing I would like to leave with them that first of all, I promise them I will come back. Second of all, I want them to think that the history of Haiti is the history of humanity, because Haiti had the boldness to stand against white supremacy and slavery, and that's why Haiti became the first black independent nation in the world. So there is a
Uh-oh, looks like his internet dropped out again. Hold on, y'all, 1 second. Let me get him back up here. I want him to finish his comment. Just hold on 1 second. We're gonna get him back on here. 1 second. We lost him for a second there. His internet has been buffering all through the entire show. So we're gonna get him back online in 1 second here. You all bear with me 1 second. We're calling him back now. Um, we're gonna get him back as soon as his internet gets back online. I don't know what happened to cause his internet to drop out, but it dropped completely out. Let's try it again one more time. We're gonna try and get him back on the line. Yep, yep. I don't know. Maybe it dropped out completely altogether. Uh, yeah, we can't get him. His internet dropped completely out. Well, he's gonna come back and be with us again sometime in the future. We're gonna get him back on with us. Oh, there we go. We hear him now. Okay. All right. Are you there? There you go. We got you back.
yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we got you back. I don't know what happened. The internet dropped out, I guess.
Yeah, the end.
Yeah. All right. So finish your statement. What would you like to leave with the people before we get out of here today?
Yeah. First of all, the history of Haiti is the history of humanity. Um, the first nation, the first black nation that stood against the white supremacy, against to fight for liberty, equality, and brotherhood. And the history of Haiti is the history of not all humanity, but also uh, all black people. Uh, it's important for us to know the history of one another. So if you ever think about freedom, you ever think about liberty, I know before you even think about Marcus Garvey, we honor him for that. But there was a place that it was beginning. Everybody received the inspiration from Haiti. Never forget Haiti.
Amen. We
Thank you.
won't. And thank you again. So you stay right there. I'm going to end the show. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. I want to invite you all to come and hang out with me on Thursday. We do a show on Street News Now on Facebook and YouTube Live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's called Six Guys and You. Come hang out with us and see what we're talking about. Chris likes to call us, chaos, intellectual chaos. So come and check us out and see what's happening on Thursday on Facebook and YouTube, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Also, this is all of my information where you can make donations and contributions. We appreciate all the people that have made contributions up to this point in time. We thank you so very much. Please go over to my website, ask-dr-ron.com. Go up to the top. You will see all of my social media. You'll also see a tab for my YouTube channel. Go over to my YouTube channel, subscribe, like, and share. I appreciate all those that dropped in to see this show. Share it, spread it around. Great information. We're going to do it again. We're going to have Apostle Laguerre back on with us again, and I'm looking forward to it. So peace and love. See y'all next time, Thursday.